My friend and I are hanging out, discussing Stoked and the state of Stoked in the world right now. Lots to talk about.
It's nice to be hanging out here on the couch with you together for once.
Yeah, we're still Zoom with you guys.
Yeah, I mean we're here in honor of science, right? That's what we do here at Stoked. We are an evidence-based psychological science and other type of wellness science-based professional consulting firm, and so our goal is to support leaders in developing. Our goal is to support individual contributors in developing, to support team effectiveness, and worker well-being, workplace wellness. That is all of these multifaceted aspects of our health that come together to make us either stoked at work or not so stoked, and feeling good or not feeling like our best selves. And so we're the translators of the science for you. You're getting at the way that all of these interesting and stoked and influential people, leaders and decision makers and change makers have inspired us with their life stories and their paths and their finding creative ways of honoring their values.
Yeah, and what really is what gets me stoked about all this, as you described, there is the organizational side in making an individual perform at their best, handle the situations at their highest level, is we call in an organizational effectiveness manner that we call stoked culture. How do you bring everyone together? How do you create that environment where everyone performs at their best with each other as well as individually? Talking about how important it is to take care of yourself, to put yourself in that best position, unlock your inner stoked, bring out the best in you in these high pressure situations so you can make your team better. For those leaders out there, it's not just you performing at your best, it's you performing in a way so that everyone performs at their best. You've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. How do you increase communication and transparency on your team so that they can be the most authentic selves? These are all, how do you create a proper workplace environment or setting physically through the desk situation, through our chairs, through an ergonomist and occupational therapist.
I can't tell. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just can't tell you how many questions I've asked Kelly, our ergonomist, about standing desks, desk setups, chair height. Right? I mean, we've gotten a lot of good free advice over the years.
Yeah, even for ourselves. And these are important, subtle things and expert things to be able to align not just employees but everybody at the workplace, such that we can remove those physical frustrations so they can be more present. It's all about being who you are in that moment so that you can respond the way you're trained to respond. Fear and stress hide and mask so much of what you know and who you are. We are removing that so you can be yourself and have trust in yourself and your team, and creating that work environment so that you can overcome these obstacles that we're seeing today. We're going to be all over the Bay Area of Northern California, helping people overcome those situations that they're encountering today.
Speaking of pressure, I believe, if I remember correctly, the last talk I gave to PMI had like a pressure cooker in the name, or it was about the pressure cooker, high stakes communication. Because as I've learned through yourself, project and through PMI and its members, project managers are under just a tremendous amount of stress. That's in IRL, in real life, in a room like this, in a consulting room. How do you know what the right move is when there isn't just one, right? Or when something is very dependent on context or nuance. Making those kinds of decisions can be really challenging for a lot of us, and stressful, and so that's a challenging dynamic, and it's frankly something that we come into organizations and support individuals and teams and leaders in managing quite a bit here with Stoked. The interpersonal side, the soft skills, so to speak, that often have some of the largest ROI when it comes to investing in your workforce.
Yeah. And as we're talking about this, I keep thinking of it in terms of those three pillars of Stoked. There's the Stoked Leadership. In terms of what you discussed in transparency and communication, how much of that is leadership and how much of that is culture?
Well, right. Simply stated, I'd say leadership sets the tone for the culture of the organization, right? So that kind of transparency, when it's exuded by leaders in their behavior, right? When they perhaps at times choose to disclose something that, how they personally were impacted by a decision in the workplace or how something played out, that sets the tone and tells their reports and others in the organization that that's an okay kind of behavior to do. And in many cases, right, showing up in ways that are authentic like that, when appropriate, can be really conducive of trust building, of people's voices being heard, and it sets the tone for everything that trickles down. I think it's a misnomer, but down into the rest of the organization. And it's powerful stuff. I think I'd encourage all of you leaders listening to this podcast right now to take a moment and really think about the power that you have, even with how you greet someone in the morning, right? Or how you greet them virtually. I was thinking initially in person in a hallway over a cup of coffee, but there's also this online greeting that we do with each other all too often, and I really enjoy it. And it's nice to say hello and see how you're doing and have an exchange like that.
Well, and it's amazing the power of being your authentic self as a leader has on the organization, making them feel comfortable that they can be themselves. We have that position because we perform at our best, because we are the best in that field.
Yes.
And that's what matters in those high pressure moments. That's what matters when we change the world around us. As long as we can communicate and have transparency with each other, then we can always overcome anything. Is that the scientific side? Is that what you're thinking?
I think that's a great point. And of course, like, there are things that, to be really critical, there are things that can't be overcome, right? Or that we might choose not to overcome. But yeah, to have the best chance of navigating, the real interpersonal challenges that show up in the workplace, absolutely. I'm sure with you on that. It's good to be in this position where we can help people design their ideal workplace, design the place, design the life you want, design the work life you want. And
there's many different fields that are affected daily by changing technologies.
Absolutely.
And changing environments, and to be able to be there and to create systems that are customized for each individual and each organization, regardless of the industry, regardless of the position, I think really speaks to the psychology and the neuroscience of it all, and the humanness of what we're all doing together.